Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes,
Good
good
morning,
morning.
ma'am.
Okay, so today we will continue with the chapter The Ransom of Red Chief. So, what have we done till now in this chapter? Who will tell me? Those who have joined the class yesterday, someone please tell what all we did yesterday. Come on, hurry up.
Ma'am, there was a kidnap. There were two kidnappers. One's name was Bill Driscoll, and one was writing the story. And they thought, they want to buy a land.
Mm-hmm.
For that, they had $600, but they needed $2,000 more. So they
Okay.
thought of the idea of kidnapping a child and then asking for the ransom from the parents.
Okay.
So, ma'am, in a town there was a town called Summit, and there they thought of kidnapping a prominent builder's son,
Mm-hmm.
whose name was Ebenezer Dorset.
Okay.
And ma'am, then they kidnapped, and ma'am, when they took up him to the mountain and a cave near the mountain, they found out that this boy was very mischievous and naughty. And soon his mate Bill Driscoll, he started getting afraid of this boy because of his mischiefs.
Okay. All right. So, the last thing that we did was that while at night they were sleeping, so just as the day was about to start, just at daybreak, the narrator, he was awakened by a very terrifying and humiliating screams from Bill. And when he got up, so what he saw, that the red chief, means this boy of 10, he was sitting on Bill's chest, and he had one hand in Bill's hair, and in the other hand he was having a knife which was used for slicing bacon, and he was trying to cut Bill's head. And now this was the punishment which the red chief had given him the day before or the evening before. And so somehow the narrator got the knife from the kid and made him lie down again. But from that moment on, Bill's spirit was broken, means now Bill has was really very afraid of this mischievous little boy. Okay, so who will read now?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, beta.
He lay down on his side of the bed, but he never closed an eye again in sleep as long as the boy was with us. I dozed off for a while, but I sat up and leaned against a rock. What you getting up so soon for, Sam? Asked Bill. Oh, I got pain in my shoulder. I thought sitting up would rest it, I said. You are a liar, says Bill. You are afraid. You were afraid that he would burn you at sunrise. Isn't it awful, Sam? Nobody will pay out money to get a little inn like that back home.
Okay, all right.
I
Okay. So now the child was again made to lay down, but Bill, he also lay down on his side of the bed, but after that he was so afraid that he didn't even close his eye and sleep as long as this little boy was with him. And the narrator, he dozed off uh, for a while, but then he again sat up and leaned against a rock. He also did not lie down to sleep. And so Bill asked him that why you are getting up so soon. Uh, Sam, means you just lied down and now again you are up. So he said that no, I got pain in my shoulder. So I thought that if I'll sit up, then it will get some rest. But Bill says that no, you are a liar and you are also afraid. because if you remember the punishment that the little boy gave to the narrator, he named him Snake Eye and gave him the punishment that early at daybreak he would be broiled at the stake. So he said that you are also afraid that he will burn you at sunrise. And then he says that isn't it awful, it's so bad, and that now nobody, they kidnapped him for a ransom, but now they are saying that now nobody will give us any money because nobody will want such a little mischievous child back home. So obviously they'll not be willing to pay any money for him. So uh, I went up on the peak of the mountain to look at summit, and the narrator, he went up. So it was morning now, and he went up on the peak of the mountain to look at the town summit from where they had kidnapped this little boy, and they expected that he would see the villagers looking for the kidnappers here and there. But what he saw, that it was very peaceful, and there was no chaos in the city. And so he got when the narrator got to the cave, he found that Bill, he was breathing very hard, very afraid, breathing very hard. Why? Because if you can, as you can see in the picture, that the boy was threatening to smash him with a rock. And Bill also told what this boy did, that he put a red hot boiled potato down my back. Now instead of the kidnappers torturing him, he was torturing the kidnappers, and he put a red hot boiled potato down Bill's back. And so Bill asked his friend or his accomplice, the narrator, that do you have a gun with you? And so the narrator, he took the rock away from the boy, and the kid, though he gave away the rock, but still, see what he says to Bill, I'll finish you, you better beware. Now he is threatening him that he will kill him. Now day after breakfast, the kid, he took a piece of leather, and it has strings wrapped around it, and then with strings wrapped around it out of his pocket. So he took out a piece of leather, and this piece of leather had some strings wrapped around it, and he went outside the cave, and he was unwinding those strips of leather. And now Bill, he was very anxious and says what he's up to now. And he asked that, don't you think, he asked the narrator that, what do you think, will he run away? So narrator is like that, no, he doesn't seem that he wants to go home, but still we have to make some plan about the ransom. And maybe his parents will think that he is spending the night with one of the neighbors. Maybe they'll not miss him today, but obviously he'll be missed tomorrow. Means yesterday he was not missed, but maybe he'll be missed today. And just then they heard, the boy, whenever he remembered that he was a Indian, so he gave out a war cry. And just then they heard the war cry. And now what leather and the strings attached to that, that the red chief took out from his pocket, now it was a sling. And so what basically you can do in slings, you can put rocks and small stones basically, and with that you can take an aim and shoot. And so the young boy, he also did it, and he hit Bill behind his ear with a rock. And now Bill, he got hurt so hard, you could imagine, behind getting hit behind your ear with a rock. And so Bill, he ran like a madman and like a mad person. If there are a stack of dishes all over, and a madman will fall over them, so Bill was even in the same condition. And the narrator, he caught that boy and shook him, and he told him that if you do not behave yourself, then I will take you home. And so now you must behave yourself, otherwise I will take you home. Now why he did that? Because the boy, he did not wanted to go home. And so the narrator told him that if you want to have fun, if you want to stay here, then you better be good. So the boy said that I was only having fun, now I'll behave Snake Eye, and you will not send me home. If you won't send me home, then I will behave myself. So the narrator, he told the boy that okay, I'm going away for a while, but you apologize to Bill, say sorry to Bill, or I will send you home at once. Okay, who will read now? Someone read? Yes. Where's Ashita?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ बेटा read.
I took Bill aside and told him I thought it best to send a letter to Dorset demanding the ransom. Sam, said Bill, you won't leave me along with him. I'll be back sometime this afternoon, said I. Bill and I got paper and pencil and wrote the letter while Red Chief, with a blanket wrapped around him, strutted up and down, guarding the mouth of the cave. Bill begged me tearfully to reduce the ransom. He felt nobody would give up $2,000 for this wild boy. I agree and we wrote a letter.
Alright, okay, wait. So the narrator he took Bill aside and told him that now they should write a letter to Ebenezer Dorset and demanding that ransom. Now Bill said to him that Sam, you please don't leave me long with this boy all alone, because he was afraid that what the boy will do next to him, because he's already threatened him that he will finish him off. And so the narrator says that I'll be back this afternoon. So Bill and the narrator they got paper and pencil and wrote the letter, while the young boy he had a blanket wrapped around him, and so he just moved up and down guarding the cave. He was playing his part well. Now Bill he begged the narrator to reduce the ransom. Earlier they wanted 2000, but now he asked him that you reduce the ransom, because Bill thought that nobody would be willing to give $2,000 for this mischievous little boy. And so the writer he also agreed and they wrote a letter. Okay, Navya, carry on.
Ebenezer Dorset, we have your boy. We demand $1,500 to be left at midnight tonight at the same spot. If you agree to these terms, send your answer in writing by a messenger tonight at 8:30. After crossing Owl Creek, at the bottom of the fence post will be found a small pasteboard box. The messenger will place the answer in this box and return immediately to Summit. If you fail to comply with your demand, you will never see your boy again. Two desperate men. I wrote this letter and put it in my pocket.
Okay,
As I was
wait. So the letter that they wrote was the to Ebenezer Dorset was that we have your boy, and now so they reduced the ransom to $1,500, and then he said that you have to the $1,500 you have to give us at midnight tonight at the same spot. And then he says that if you agree to these terms, then you have to send in your answer by send your answer in writing, and you have to send it through a messenger at 8:30. And where they have to keep this letter was that after crossing the Owl Creek, at the bottom of the fence post there would be a small pasteboard box, and so they have to put the message there that whether they agree to these terms or not. And the messenger he was asked to place the answer in the box and then immediately return back to Summit. And then they wrote that if Ebenezer he failed to respond or listen to their demand, then he will never be able to see his boy again. And they um, finished it by writing two desperate men. Yes, Navya, continue.
I wrote this letter and put it in my pocket. As I was about to start, the kid came up to me and said, Snake Eye, you said I could play the Black Scout while you was gone. I am the Black Scout and I have to ride a horse. What am I to do? Asked Bill, looking at the kid suspiciously. You are the horse, said the Indian. Get down on your hands and knees. You'd better keep him interested, said I. Bill got down on all fours. The kid jumped on Bill's back and dug his heels in his side.
Okay, all right. So the narrator, he wrote the letter and put it in his pocket, and as he was about to go, the kid, the small boy, came to him and said that, Snake Eye, you said that I could play the Black Scout, means while you were gone I could play this game of Black Scout, and now I am the Black Scout and I have to ride a horse, but where's my horse? So now Bill, he got suspicious and he looked at the kid and said that, what am I supposed to do? So boy said that, you are the horse, and so now you get down, so you will be the horse, so get down on your hands and knees. And the narrator also told him that you have to keep him interested. Now if you want money, then he has to be interested and kept here only. And so Bill got down on his hands and knees, and as soon as he got down, the kid, he jumped on Bill's back and dug his heels in his side. If you can see in this picture, see the condition of Bill. Alright, who will read now? Someone else read? Come on.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning.
Ma'am, can I read?
Yes, read beta.
May I?
Yes, sure.
For heaven's sake, said Bill, hurry back, Sam, as soon as you can. I posted my letter and came away. When I got back to the cave, I saw Bill wobble out of the bushes. Behind him was the kid with a broad grin on his face. Sam said, Bill, I couldn't help it. I have sent him home. Nobody ever was subjected to such tortures as I have been. I was rode. Then I was given oats. I tell you, Sam, a human can only stand so much. I dragged him down the mountain. On the way, he kicked my leg. I'm sorry we lose the ransom. Bill said, I turn around and have a look behind you. Bill turned and saw the boy. He turned pale for an hour. I was afraid he'd gone mad. He'd go mad. At 8:30, the messenger arrived with the letter.
Alright. Okay,
To
wait.
de-
Okay, wait. So now as the narrator was about to leave, so Bill asked him that, you please hurry up and be back as soon as you can. And so the narrator, he posted the letter and came back, and when he got back to the cave, he saw that Bill was coming out from behind the bushes, and wobbling means he was not able to walk properly, because if you remember, he had been ridden by the young boy, and behind him was the boy, and he had a broad smile on his face. And Bill, as soon as he saw the narrator, he said that, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it, but I sent him home, and because I was subjected, he said that nobody has ever been subjected to so much torture. Means the torture which the boy gave him, there was so much that no one has been ever tortured so much. And then he said that, I was rode, means he was made a horse, and then the boy rode on him, and then he gave him oats to eat. And he says that, Sam, uh, a human, he can bear only so much, means there's a limit to which a human can bear torture. And then Sam says that, so I dragged him down the mountain, and on the way down he kicked on my legs, and that is also one of the reason why he was not able to walk properly. And so he says that, I'm sorry, but we will lose the ransom. So Bill thought that he left the boy, he made the boy go back home, but he didn't knew that he was just behind him. And so the narrator told him that, Bill, turn around and have a look behind you. So Bill, he turned around and he saw the boy, and as soon as he saw the boy, he turned pale, his face lost all cover, he was so scared. And for an hour he behaved in such a manner that the narrator thought that he will go mad. And at 8:30, the time that was told to Ebenezer Dorset, the messenger arrived with a letter, and let's see what was written in the letter. Two desperate men, it would address so, and it was written that, gentlemen, I have received your letter today. And then he says that, I am going to make a counter proposition. You asked $1,500 from me, but now I have another proposition for you. You bring Johnny home and pay me $250 in cash, and I agree to take him off your hands. So what Ebenezer Dorset said, that I am not going to pay you any money. You pay me $250 in cash, and then I will I will take him from you, because the father obviously knew that how mischievous his young boy was, and it was signed as very respectfully Ebenezer Dorset. Okay, so I think so. We'll stop here, and the rest we'll do tomorrow when we meet. Is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
All right. So, such a twist this chapter is taken. Now they were expecting, the kidnappers were expecting that they will get a ransom for this boy, but now see what has happened. Now the father of the kidnapped boy, he is asking them for a ransom to take his son back. Have you all understood till here? Any problem?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Alright, so all of you please underline the difficult words in this chapter and try, not try, but also find out the meanings from the dictionary. And we will finish up this chapter tomorrow. Alright?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.